maybe that's my biggest lesson in 2026 so far is there is a gigantic difference between I can and I probably will. And I try to hit a lot of shots that I can hit, but I probably won't. And I know I probably
Yep.
won't. And that's also probably where some of that anxiety comes from over the golf ball. You kind of, there's a part of you that
You're like-
thinks this is not going to end well.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I think it's
All right.
a good idea to try.
Let's go ahead and say it one more time just in case. Welcome to part 3, already in progress.
Well, the
So-
funny thing is, here's the most hilarious thing about it, right? 2 + 2 is always 4, so far as we know. Whether there's pterodactyls chasing you through the jungle or where there's gremlins coming up out of your toilet, right? 2 + 2 is always 4.
Where in the hell are you going with
Yeah,
this? Where are we
just
going?
watch this. Just watch this. Just listen to me, okay? How many times have you hit a 120-yard shot exactly where you wanted to, perfect, no issues whatsoever, as if you're a golfer who's played, a decent skill level? Yet you throw some water or some hazards or some bunker around, and all of a sudden it's like 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 anymore. Now I've got to magically do something different. Now there's all this anxiety and pressure and change that happens. And I wish I could say I know what the answer is to overcome that because it happens to everybody. Look at all the major winners or major hopefuls in PGA, LPGA who have a 6-shot lead or something and then just completely blow it on the final hole or the final 6 holes or whatever, just
Yeah.
because of pressure and anxiety and they've done this a bazillion times to extremely high level. So it's just funny because there's something about the psyche that it just changes everything for some reason, right? It's like I've done this a million times. I could do this blindfolded. Literally, I could close my eyes and hit the shot, but all of a sudden, it's different, right?
Well, speaking of
That's where I was
psyche,
going with
here's-
that, Garrett.
Okay. I was really confused about pterodactyls and chasing us through jungles. Like that's where you lost me. I had
Pterodactyls and math. How does that
yeah,
all
Listen,
that
Listen, I'm a college professor by trade. I have to engage people. I have to figure out how to explain things to people who are asleep in the back row.
that was I could not for the life of me figure out how we were going to get from math, pterodactyls, and jungles back to something golf related. But you did it. I mean, it makes sense.
There's
now that you
always
say
a
it.
plan. There's always
Yeah.
a path. Just trust the process.
Oh man.
So speaking of the fascinating human psyche, this is this is just an interesting little tidbit here. So the 4th tee box on Deer at Riverwood has I've just noticed the last couple of times I've played it, the back tee has a fire ant infestation right now. I finally told them about it the other day because I don't think they knew about it. And it's weird because they all like blend in really well with the grass, so you don't really see them that much. But when you're standing over it, they are moving, and that kind of creates this weird like you think it's like an optical illusion, but it's not. It's really fire ants marching around all over the place. So once I figured out what it was, I'm like terrified to go on that tee box because I think I told this story. I actually got bit by a fire ant in my backswing on number 17 last year. And
Yeah.
I have never, even for me, I have never hit a ball as far left as I hit that thing. Cause you just, yeah, I hit it. It was almost left of 16 fairway and I was teeing off on 17. That's how bad left it was. But anyway, so I'm terrified of getting bit. And I also just don't want to be bitten by a fire ant. That sucks. So the last 3 times I played it now, mind you, this hole has given me fits. I was hitting I don't think I hit that fairway a single time, and I've switched to 3-wood on that hole about the same time that these fire ants showed up, and I have not missed it, nor have I even come close to missing it. I get up there, and I'm in such a hurry to hit this shot and get out of here that I'm not on the box 10 seconds,
Man.
and I strike. I don't even have to bother looking to see where it goes. I know where it's going. It's right down the middle every time. But the one that same hole was where I chunked the 2-iron in the tournament the other day. And what did you tell me afterward? You said you were over that ball a lot longer than normal that time, and I was. I was, and I told you it's because I got over the ball and I realized I hadn't finished my routine, so I had to like hurry up and finish the rest of my mental process before I hit, and I just stayed on there too long. But when I just hop up and hit it, never a problem. I don't. So why do I not just hit every shot that way? It's the weirdest. It's such a the human mind is so weird.
Yep, it's fascinating. It's Scary place and a wonderfully beautiful place all at the same time.
Ain't nothing beautiful about mine ever. So I have to. I'm not. We don't have to go into detail on this one, but I do have to share. Sunday I played actually after the trifecta. I played probably the most mentally disciplined round of golf I've ever played. That's all. All that needs to be said about that. There's nothing to learn from that. I was actually real pleased with that. Then Tuesday I go play. I shot 91 with 10 pars and no
Woo!
bogeys. Do you know how incredibly hard it is to be 20 over par in 8 holes of golf
Yeah,
when you were
he
even par for
texted
the other 10?
he
Dang.
texted me and I was like, did I read this right? I'm like waiting for the edit to come through. You know, like you can edit your text messages. I was like, surely this means 81 or something like that. And I was like, nope, that's 91. So I was like,
Wow.
how in the world? I said there must have been a lot of others or
I think it was
something.
I think it was 4 triple and they were all doubles. I think it was 4 doubles and 4 triples. Does that math out? Yeah, that would be right. So, and the bad thing was 4 of my others didn't even incur a penalty shot. I just hit it that many daggone times.
Mm.
But that's Tony and I were talking about this afternoon. Sometimes you have those rounds that get away from you a little bit and they kind of turn into experimental days where I started to kind of experiment with some different things that maybe I wouldn't have tried if I was playing better. But that's another thing that we were talking about before we started recording the podcast. Like, how do we keep our bad rounds from getting away from us? That's a really tough one for me because I can literally shoot 70. I think the next round I shot 78, so I can go 91, 78. But the once I get above about 10, 12 over par, I start to run out of give a crap real quick and
Yeah. Now
really spiral.
welcome to my world, boys.
Yeah.
Welcome to my
After the third hole,
Yeah,
when you're 12
exactly.
over par.
Give me another 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that, and maybe this would be a good point to edit it into this could be like a 5-minute long short video or something like that, right?
Yeah.
A short form video. But we were talking about it, Mike, and we were saying, like, he's like, "Oh, I'll have 12 holes," and I'll be like, "Well, this round's not going to count for my handicap. It's just going to be a toss away round." That's what happens. Eventually this round will get tossed out, or it won't ever be counted towards your handicap because he's a sub 5 handicap. So if you shoot a 91, it's just a throwaway.
Right.
But how do you stay engaged and not waste your time? Because especially if you have a
Very tough
family, you
thing.
have kids, you have people you're responsible for. You're already out there. Why
Mm.
ruin and be miserable for the rest of your hour and a half round of golf? So you could say, hey, okay, I just played 12 holes terrible. I got 6 holes left. I'm going to try to shoot the best 6 holes I possibly can. Or I'm going to work on this 5 ironed, low stinger shot that hits the fairway and rolls out to 210 if that's something you need to work on. Or I'm going to play old man golf where I put the driver away and I just hit a shot, hit another shot low. It doesn't get above 50 feet in the air. And I try to see how I can learn something. How can I take these last 6 holes and instead of being frustrated and mentally exhausted by how bad I just played, what can I learn? How can I make this a fun, enjoyable experience? So, what happens to me a lot of times is if the round is just going miserable, right? You just know it's going to be one of those toss away handicap rounds. I'll go into what I call creative golf, where I'm like, what's the biggest hook I can possibly hit with a pitching wedge into this 140-yard shot or 130-yard shot?
Mm.
And so I change my setup, I change everything. And I'm like, phew, and I end up having the most fun possible and actually starting
Mm.
to play better golf because my brain gets so locked in to this crazy hook or slice or whatever I'm gonna try to do. Um, so one, it's better to be kind to your playing partners, whoever else, whether you get paired with a random or your friends, not to be a grumpy sourpuss.
Yeah.
But two, it actually takes that time and turns it into some valuable learning you can do working on something. Maybe it's mentally working on how do I overcome adversity? How do I get past when everything is not working the way I planned it to be? Right? How do I make something still positive come from the last 6 holes I've got to play or whatever the case may be? Lots of ideas, lots of ways you can do it, but that's just one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
I mean, so to your point, I put my driver away probably on 12 or 14, probably 14. I was okay, but it was like, probably less than 50-50 that I mean, I only swung my driver once. Because I think mentally I don't have confidence in. So I was hitting my 3, but eventually I put the 3 away around 12 or 14 and just pulled out my 3 or whatever if it was a par 3, something else. But and it was fine because but it's just your pride, right? You're like, everybody else is pulling their 3 or their 1, and I'm pulling out my 3 or 4, or iron. But I could feel myself getting frustrated and slumping my shoulder. I'm hitting off the tee, I'm slumping my shoulders, and you don't wanna be that guy, and so why not just pull an iron and at least, yeah, I'm making better chance of hitting solid contact, and that next thing you know, I'm kinda perked up a little bit, yeah, sometimes you gotta put, like you said, you gotta put your ego away and like, "Okay, well, let's just work on." And oh my gosh, I worked on so much chipping, I never found the green. Yeah. So it's just, oh my god, I'm chipping on a hill, I'm chipping on a downhill, I'm chipping on an incline, like I'm on my heels. Next time I'm on my toes, like, oh, I gotta choke down on this one even more. It was like, oh, another chip. But it's just a reminder, man, chipping and putting is, where all the scoring happens.
Well, yeah, and, so in my 91,
Mm,
uh,
I'd
I
kill for
was
91.
Mike goes,
man, that sounds good. Yeah. So, I warmed up and just hit 15, 20 balls to warm up, and every ball was when I got to the driver, it was literally left, right, and there's no pattern, like, no discernible pattern. The ball starts straight and either
Mm,
hooks 20 yards left or cuts 20 yards right, which tells me that it's not a path thing, it's a club face thing. If the club face is just a little bit closed, it's going way left, and if it's a little bit open, it's going way right. And how do I play for this? So I don't know if I should play for a draw or a cut. And I get to the first hole and snap hook it so far left. It was like I could Tony knows how bad this means. It crossed the hazard before the bridge on number 1. I mean, that's deadlift.
that's
So
one
I
of
make
those, if you were giving a math problem in class for geometry, you'd be like,
yeah.
what angle of error did this
Yeah.
golfer have? And the answer
that's when
is
you
just,
pull the ball out and
damn.
drop
Yeah.
drop another ball down.
It was insane. Well, no, I didn't even go far enough to bother doing that. I just had to re-tee. So snap hook it there. I think I made double. Par number 3, par 3, or par number 2, the par 3. Number 3, snap hook it left out of bounds. Hit my second one down there, make double. Number 4, par the par 3. Number 5, snap hook it left, re-tee, make double or triple, whatever it was. Number 6, I make par. I get to number 7, so number 6 is a par 4 that I always hit 4-iron off of. So I get to number 7 and I'm like, okay, let's take some quick inventory here. We've played 6 holes. We are 7 over par when we hit driver. We're even par when we don't hit driver. I don't care if this is a 550-yard par 5. I'm thinking I'm gonna go 2-iron here. And I did. I hit 2-iron, 3 wood, gap wedge, and made a 15-footer for birdie or something like that. I might have made par, I can't remember. But anyway, I'm like, "Okay, that solves that. No more driver. No, we're done with driver." And I
Hmm,
didn't hit driver again until 16 and 17 because both of
okay.
those they're parallel to each other, so you can miss it as far left as you want to on either of those holes. So I didn't do it. My problems came in other places after that, but once I took the driver out of the bag, I said, "Okay, I can at least eliminate this problem." No, a 2 iron's not my favorite way to play golf, but
Yeah.
neither is hitting 3 off the tee. So I think I'll take my chances with the 2 iron. So sometimes that is what you have to do is just don't play the sexy golf. And another thing Tony and I were talking about too, I think I need to redefine what exactly a hero shot is, because I think that I've gotten better at not trying to hit like the 30-yard cuts out of the woods, just advance it and take your medicine, whatever. But I think sometimes the 195-yard shot over a hazard to a tucked pin that I could lay up short of the creek and chip it up. I know 100% that if I played it 10 times, I would average a lower score laying up short of the creek rather than going for that, even though it's 195. But on the golf course, like, it's 195 yards, it's just a 5-iron. I mean, like, you're not gonna lay that up. Statistically, you should, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Well, and that's the interesting thing about the whole strokes gained concept. I've thought about doing this where on every single hole, you say, what distance, what club would gain me 0 shots and lose me 0 shots per shot? So let's say, for example, you're playing a par 4 and all you have to do is advance the ball 220 yards to neither gain nor lose a stroke. Just hit a scratch golf shot. Okay, for a lot of people, that's a hybrid or a 4 iron or something if you hit the ball far enough. Hit that, and then it says, okay, from 125 yards in the fairway, what distance should I be from the flag to neither gain nor lose a stroke? Just hit a scratch golf shot. It's probably going to be something like 35, 40 feet, maybe a little bit more. So you choose a target where if you hit a perfect shot, it gets just inside of that or something like that. And I'm wondering, what would your score be, right? How easy would the game seem if you took all the stress away of hitting driver, going for the green on a par 4, even hitting driver on a par 5 sometimes is not the best play because of out of bounds right, hazard left, something like that. Just depending on your skill level, obviously, and what risk you can or cannot take. But how many times have you seen people you've watched you play with this random that you get paired with, and they have this 5 wood or the 7 wood that they never miss with, it's always just dead straight, 200 yards, something like that. But you watch them top 5 drivers in a row or
Mhm.
slice them off the planet, and you're just like, "What is your goal? If your goal is to shoot the lowest score you possibly can shoot,
Yeah.
maybe go get fit for a driver and throw that thing in the trash until you got one that works for you. Oh, but I hit this so far. Yeah, out of bounds, but yet I've watched you hit that 7 wood dead straight every time you've hit it,
Yeah.
so there's different ways to play the game. There's different ways to take double and triple bogeys off the scorecard altogether, and people would score so much better
Mm.
until they develop the skill, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't your high school baseball team, Mike, the pitching players, the players who are pitchers,
Yep.
they don't go out there in the game and try to throw that curveball for the first time when the bases are loaded and it's bottom of the ninth. They they throw that only after they've developed and got it to a level where they can trust it.
Right.
They stick to their guns until then. You don't draw up a play for Dikembe Mutombo to shoot a 3-pointer to win a game because that's not Dikembe Mutombo's skill. You
Okay,
see what
you
I'm saying?
might have to tell people who that is because he retired about 20 years ago.
He did not retire 20 years ago. He passed away recently, I think.
Rest in
I
peace
could
to
be wrong.
Kimbe,
Yep, yep.
Oh, I
who
didn't know
has
he passed
So,
away.
since passed
yeah, I
on.
think he passed away, yeah. But you play to your strengths, you play to what you can do, you don't try to force things just because that's how you're supposed to
Yeah.
play golf or you're supposed to play a hole. Unless you're playing on the PGA or LPGA tour or in a college event where you should be skilled enough to do that anyways, right? Just
Yeah.
a weekend warrior who never plays or practices. I mean,
Yeah.
if you got a 400-yard shot, a 400-yard hole, and it's a par 4, which is way too far for most people to be playing par 4s if they are a 20 handicap, they just need to be like, well, what club can I hit 150 yards most times?
Yeah.
8 times out of 10, it's going to go at least this far. Do that 2 times and then chip and putt really well and make a bogey and get out of there.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's not golf.
Yeah,
It's not fun.
Garrett's
It's not
never gonna
sexy.
do that. That's so nice for people like me, but what do you got for Garrett? Garrett ain't
no,
Well,
holding the 2 iron.
Garrett's evolving and developing here.
What?
So, as I one of the things that I've picked up from playing outside a little more, I can't remember if I said this on the last one or not, but I was talking to Mike at Sully's today. That's Sully, and I hit a 6 iron probably well, let's use 7 iron. So if I just go in there and you tell me just like rip a 7 iron as far as you can, it's probably like 185 yards, I'm guessing. Okay, but if I'm 182 yards on the golf course, I'm hitting 6 iron. I'm gonna take 6 iron, hit like a nice little controlled 3/4, and I call it my 3/4 shot. It's not 3/4 at all. It's a completely full swing, but that's what I play. And my 7 iron, I'm not comfortable pushing it more than like 175 on the golf course. But just taking that and extending it up a little bit further even to the driver, I mean, Tony, I'm gonna humble, subtle flex here, I guess, a little bit. Tony keeps telling me that at my ball speed, you're gonna just have to deal with some variation and that being 1 degree offline is gonna send it way offline. So I've started to realize, like, all the speed that I've been chasing is just making me hit it far. It's just making it harder for me to hit fairways. I'm only hitting
Yeah.
43% of the fairways that I
Mm.
hit with driver. And this is a really cool thing about having this app and that we've been working so tirelessly on. But I can break down my fairways hit percentage with each club. I'm 43% with the driver, 75% or better with 2 iron and 3 wood.
Mm.
So
Dang.
number one, I need to figure out how to hit the driver and play. But you know what? I mean, it's like all this busting my butt trying to figure out how to hit it 320. It's like, daggone it, I can't control 320 if I had it in me. I can't control,
Yeah.
280. So,
Yeah.
the same logic kind of applies there a little bit where, I think one of the things that I may start doing is setting a new rule for myself that I'm going to, take my pitching wedge and start at 125 yards, 30 yards, 135, whatever, and go until I can't hit it 8 out of 10 times. Once I can't hit the target, a 10-yard target, 8 out of 10 times with it, that's my new ceiling. It's not how hard can I physically swing this club, it's how far can I hit it within a 10-yard radius? And make the same logic apply to the driver and maybe give myself a 25 or 30-yard radius, but that's as far as I'm allowed to hit it, and that become my new stock yardage. I don't know, but I may spend some time on that this week. See what is my limit there of, okay, yes, I can hit it 185, but I can control it at 170.
Yep. So that's a huge mental paradigm shift for you. I'd be curious how long it lasts because
I'm
it's
not
no
playing
different.
again for a week, so it'll last at
It's
least a week.
it's no different than what is in the last episode where, you're talking about if I hit it 75% effort, I never miss. But if I go full, I can get an extra 8 yards. And I was like, then that's your problem, right? Is those eight extra
Yeah.
yards mean
I
more to you than
realized,
the
by the way,
accuracy?
I realized midway through that we did talk about that last time. That's why I tried
Uh-huh.
to speed it along to something else. But
Well, but
yeah,
also too, you're a little misguided in your dispersion window. So you're saying if I can hit a shot within 10 yards left to right total or 10 yards left and 10 yards right
10-yard
from
circle
100?
all the way around.
That's pretty tight for 130 yards. And then if you get up to a 7, 8 iron, 6 iron, it's
Not
quite
for
a bit
somebody with
wider.
my elite skills.
Yeah, the next time he strolls up to a par 5, he's pulling driver. Let's just be
Of
honest.
course.
He's pulling driver.
I don't know, man. I'm running low on golf balls. When you
Uh,
when you when you
When you
run
start
out of
playing
golf
golf
balls, you have to
every
play
day.
smart. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
No,
when
it's
you gotta pull like your range balls or your recycled ball special, for the par 5. You don't pull the
There
pro
was this
Ds.
there was this video years ago. It was so great back when like YouTube was just fresh and new. And it was like the world's favorite golf ball, the Range. And it's the range ball, right? It's French for
Range.
Range. uh, but no, like I've heard of so many stories, this is anecdotal, obviously, of people saying, I only had one golf ball left in the bag and I played the best back nine of my life.
yeah.
Because what is your focus? Keep it in play, find it, hit it again.
Hey,
Mm,
look, even
So
Roy McIlroy finally pulled it off when he was down to his last ball. There's
he
something
hit the shot. Yeah, there's
psychological.
something psychological about it.
there you go.
Yeah. No, I've had that round before where either I'm out of golf balls or have just lost so many that I'm just like, I don't care what I'm doing the rest of the day. I'm not losing this golf ball. And I usually shoot
Uh-huh.
like 37 or something on the back when I do
Mm,
that. But no, I really am just starting to, I guess, finally after 30 years in this game, figuring out that control is much more important than how far it goes, I guess. And it's there are some times that, like number 5 that we talk about so much on the meadow course at Riverwood. I mean, I don't think I can hit a control 2 iron and even get it to the fairway, but maybe I need to learn how to hit my control 3 wood that, instead of trying to carry it 250, I can maybe for the 3 wood it's 230 that I know I can hit it,
yeah.
inside of 30. I'm not going to hit it inside a 10-yard radius with a 3 wood. I know that, but I'm thinking 10%, I think, is so from 100 yards, that's 10 yards. From 150, it's, 15 yards or wherever. But again, we keep going back to that, or I keep going back to number 8 with that front right pin. I mean, there's not a 10-yard radius that you can work with to that flag. If it's front right there, you're dealing with about a 5-yard window that you can hit that ball without it being in trouble. So,
Which course are you talking about? Number 8?
number 8 on, Deer, where you made the triple, or where we made the triple when you made the
Yeah.
triple.
No, yeah.
We.
No, you're
It's
right.
a we.
There's some yeah. But there's some holes where, again, that's just you have to play it differently, and that's just not the play. I mean, especially not when you're blocked out by trees on a 8-inch above your feet lie. Like, had we
No,
been all the way on the left, it would have been a much different shot because
oh,
you got the
yeah.
whole green left to right to work with. Garrett just hit
The
such a bad shot that I was forced into a poor decision.
And you hit such a bad shot that mine was the best option we
That's
had.
right.
So, you
Fair
know,
point.
a lot of things that viewers and listeners will never necessarily know about, but, one of the apps that we were trying to develop that it will never see the light of day had an AI coach in it that I have gotten rid of because, I didn't like what it was
Ugh.
telling me. But one tip that it told
It
me
was
at
too
one
much
point,
like me. It
it
was
was
so
too much like
similar to
Tony, so
me.
I
He was like,
deleted
"I
it. I
can't
was
have
like
this."
It was any Tony.
it
A
was it
That's
was
Tony.
right.
it was exactly Tony. But I don't think you have ever said this necessarily, but it was saying if I didn't have a 70% success rate, I wasn't allowed to hit that shot on the golf course. Would you agree with that logic, or did I tell you that
Woo!
and you said no, that was too high?
No, I don't think it's necessarily too far off because a lot of times the decision making comes down to like if you're in the trees and there's a window, it's could you confidently hit this shot 8 times, 9 times out of 10?
Yeah.
And if you can't, you don't need to hit the shot. So 70% is a lot less, obviously. If you're
So
trying to get the most consistent results possible, obviously.
yeah, so I think you could take that simple tip and apply it to just about
Uh-huh.
anything. And if I don't feel like there's an and again, occasionally you're going to run into holes that's like again number 5. It's a
Just
210-yard
outliers.
carry to
Yep.
get to the fairway. But for the most part, if you apply that to okay, like me with I am incredibly confident trying to hit a 9 iron 148 to 150 yards. I hit it almost that number on the dot every single time I try to do that. 160-yard 9 iron, I can do it, but my confidence level is incredibly low. So never try to hit a 9 iron more than 150 yards. All right. Or I know that I can get through this window, or I know I can hit the green 8 out of 10 times with it. If you try to apply that logic all the way around the golf course, it seems like a pretty simple way to solve for course management and club selection and all that kind of stuff. I did it one time, so therefore we should try it again, you know?
Yeah, but the problem is taking the human ego into the equation. Just like Tin Cup. I know I can hit this shot. And he's put 3 in the water over the course of the tournament so far. And he's like, "I know I can hit it." And same thing with the golfer, right? They're like, "Oh, but I know I can because I did it that 1 or 2 times. Therefore, my ceiling is I think I can
Yeah.
do it 70% of the time," when they have no business doing it whatsoever.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on record right now, while we're, in front of God and everybody, we're gonna go ahead and say this. The
Uh,
next round of golf that I play, that's my vow and my commitment. I am going to play I'm gonna make myself hit every single shot with that, I'm gonna say 70% confidence level.
mm,
We're gonna start at 70. We know I'm not gonna do 90. We'll start at 70. If I don't have a 70% confidence level, I'm not gonna hit it. And as a accompanying promise to that, my practice time next week, I'm gonna go through every club in my bag
mm.
and do a ladder basically where I say, okay, I have to hit 7 out of 10 to advance. And if I can't do it 7 out of 10 times, then I'm not allowed to hit this club more than that. That's
Huh,
my commitment for the next 2 weeks.
Cool.
cool.
I promise. I think
I think that's
maybe
great.
because
Well,
I think
Lord
there's
knows you're gonna
something.
have plenty of practice time.
I'll get plenty of practice time, and
Yeah.
I'll do the sim. I'll sim a couple of rounds too, just so I can test my philosophy before I go out on the real golf course. But I just think that there's a maybe that's my biggest lesson of 2026 so far is there is a gigantic difference between I can and I probably will, and I try to hit a lot of shots that I can hit, but I probably won't, and I know I probably
Yep.
won't. And that's also probably where some of that anxiety comes from over the golf ball. You kinda there's a part of you that
You're
knows
like,
that this is not gonna end well.
"Absolutely." Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I think it's a
Alright.
good, Good idea to try.
Enjoyed it, guys. And
Guys,
Mike, you got to play more. We got to get you talking more
I
often about
do.
your yeah.
You know what? It might be hard to get you guys on at McGregor just because it's just really busy over there. But I should be able to get us on over at 12 Oaks. So let's try to make that happen. You know, sooner than
Yeah, I've
later.
got one of my alumni works there as well. He's
Cool.
Have
one
you
of
ever
the
played it,
instructors there.
I
Tony?
have
Have you played it, Tony?
12 balls.
12 Oaks? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've played 12 Oaks before.
Man,
What is
that's
it, like 15 of the 18 holes? There's a forced carry on your
it's
approach shot, I think.
yeah. I
It's a
added it
lot.
up one day because that used to be the course I played every day,
I
and
remember.
I added up. I think it's something like it's an insane number of potential penalty areas or out of bounds on that golf course. Like there's not a single hole that there's not one or the other, and like there's no freebies. And I don't know. A part of me doesn't really want to play 12 Oaks
Okay, well, if
because
you can get me on somewhere, I will try to meet you guys.
I mean I would love to
So
go try to tackle that dragon one more time or slay that dragon again because
that's
but there's a
right.
part of me that's like I feel so good about my golf game right now, and I'm
Yeah.
afraid that I'm gonna go out there and shoot 120, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden all my confidence is gonna be gone. But
That's
on the other side, it's like I kind of want to play it. So yeah, we got to get together and play somewhere though. I think
okay.
it'd be fun to get out. So
Sounds
all right,
good.
boys, y'all have a good weekend. See y'all.
Okay.
Whoa.
We are too juvenile for that. You should know this by now.
I once asked somebody out just to prove to a buddy that he was afraid to talk to girls. I was like, dude, it's fine if you get shot down. Watch. See that girl over there? She's not interested in me at all. Trust me. I've been trying all night. I'm going to go ask her out just to show you that you can get shot down and you'll survive.
You'll
And I
survive.
did.
That's right.
And that's exactly what happened. She shot me down. And I said, see, still living. You know?
Is it going to turn into
Does Mike realize that I snuck the record button back in and that we're recording again? I don't know if he
This
saw
has
that.
now become...
I am so glad that I hit record again on that. Not all of the last 8 minutes are going to be in this in these episodes, but that will absolutely. It may go into a permanent intro. Man, love you, Mike. Thanks for your 9.5 ABV Fridays. Those are fun. Tony, we'll continue to explore my release patterns